Hello, hello, all of my truth seekers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Truth Show Live. In this live video, I will discuss and ask questions regarding the process of selling your soul, despite the money hungry political church's claims that it is impossible. You see, this is why they say it's not possible, since it will call into question everything they've convinced you of. For example, the existence of hell, eternal pain, and so on. I mean, they want you to be scared to sin, even though they're sinning themselves, but they consider themselves above sin. Yeah. See, that is far from the truth, by the way. This also calls into question ghosts and reincarnation and other beliefs. Now, before I answer any questions, I want you to comprehend Jesus. The actual Jesus, or should I say Yeshua, or Yeshua, depending who's saying it. Now, of course they want it to be one man, one God, New World Order elites who originally attempted to persuade the world to believe. They want you to believe in this New World Order. One man, one God, one ruler. That's what that is. They want you to believe that. Yeah. They urgently attempting to persuade the world to believe in this one man, one God, one ruler. Yeah. For example, they said men created themselves and then women emerged from men. First of all, I don't care what hocus pocus, whatever concoctions they come from dirt or whatever that they try to make up in the Bible. That's physically impossible. Okay? Physically impossible. Woman created men. And then so on and so forth. Actually, the goddess Isis created the modern day human society that we see today. Of course, Neanderthals were already here, which is what they say is the mitochondria Eve gene, which means that pre-exists the modern day humans that goddess Isis, makes a lot of DNA in. They have a rare DNA, a rare blood type. I get into deep digs about that in another video or maybe another live show. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, get back to what I'm saying. So they want you to think, again, men created themselves and then women emerged from men from one rib or whatever. Do not make me laugh again, because this is ridiculous. That is not even true, okay? Not even true, okay? They even tried to put that in the book of Enoch as well. Like men, goddess Isis, she created men first and called him Adam from an atom gene. And then from there, she created Eve. And then they cohabitated together and so on and so forth. Yeah. But then you don't really hear too much about goddess Isis anymore in the book of Enoch. It become male dominated, which means that book itself has been heavily edited to exempt females. They left goddess Isis in there and then they just, put male dominancy into the whole entire book. I was like, okay, this has been politically edited for male to dominate the existence of humans, which we know is not true. You get man from the word woman. That's literally what it is. I'm going on about that. This is not a feminist video. I'm just trying to bring insight and truth to the lies. Okay? So with that said, here are your warnings. So now brace yourself. Aside from society's material and institutions condemned. Oh, sorry about that. Forgot I had that preview in there. I should have had that playing. Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I've deeply researched all of my information. This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy. All right. I'm not sure who is in the room right now, I'm seeing is it Miss LA Leon? I'm not even sure if you're still in the room. But yeah, this is live. This is not pre-recorded. This is live. This is not a pre-recorded video. Okay. Although I honestly prefer pre-recorded videos because then I can just edit them and I have to worry about mistakes. But this is literally a live video. Not pre-recorded, my dear. Not pre-recorded. Anyway. Moving on. Okay, I've been trying to convince many individuals that Yeshua was not meant to be glorified or praised. He was simply a messenger who believed in the divine. Let me say that again. I've been trying to convince, many individuals that Yeshua, that's Jesus' real name, not Jesus, because J wasn't even in the Hebrew language, was not meant to be glorified or praised. He was simply a messenger who believed in the divine, or should I say tapped into his Christ chakra, and could heal and walk on water, among other abilities. Christ chakra is one of the highest chakras that give you the ability to perform miracles, among other things. You too can definitely tap into your Christ chakra through intensive meditation, fasting, and other practices. With that said, here is a series of videos explaining Yeshua. Because I'm going to definitely give you guys a little inside track. I think you guys need a history lesson. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a nice little history lesson right now. See, before I do that, here are some steps for here. Chakra 12. Generally, they just give you the first 7 because they don't want you to tap into 12. They prefer, 7. We're just going to cut this off at 7 crown. They cannot get above this. No. They're always trying to prevent you from knowledge, because you get into 12, you're practically, you definitely tap into your 100% cerebral capacity of your brain. And you more than likely will have some God or goddess-like features. Just like Jesus. Remember Jesus, he went into the desert 40 days. I don't know where that Satan tempting story, whatever. Anyway, he went into the desert 40 days. He went into where monks. As a matter of fact, the video series that I'm going to show you will explain to you how Yeshua, was able, he was a man. He was not immortal. He was conceived by in vitro. In vitro was actually invented by the Egyptians. That's how they learned it. He was partially conceived by, Anunnaki deities that injected Mary. And he was definitely insightful on how to tap into the Egyptian mythology. He went to Egyptian schools. He learned to trade, which you see and heard in the Bible. He learned, he studied, he traveled. He disappeared for a long time. There's a period of Yeshua's life where no one even knew where he was. That's because he went to study. He went fasting, him and his mom. He went fasting. Now, this is in Egypt, Africa, where history tells you predominantly the people there were, they called them ruddy, which is reddish brown people, and dark black people. But please note that all us Negroes and, should I say, colored people are not all from Africa. Predominantly, most of us are actually from here in America. But they're not going to tell you that because they don't want you to know that. So, getting back to what I was saying. So, he studied all of these practices. He studied all of this. And upon him studying all of this, when he went into his fasting, he was studying with the monks. He didn't eat anything but maybe whatever they had to serve. More than likely, he had a liquid vegan diet. I don't even think he ate meat. I don't remember eating meat at all. Eating meat was supposed to be a sin. But anyway, he did all of that. He meditated. They call it his first chastising, or something like that. Chastin, I believe it's called. Chasting. Anyways, he went through all of that for 40 days. Well, actually, it was probably longer than that, but we're just going to say 40 days for argument's sake. And That's when he was able to tap into his Christ-like chakra. He walked out of there a new person. He was able to sense everything around him. Everything was heightened. The trees, the birds, or whatever was down there. He felt everything, the air particles. He saw it kind of like the Matrix. He saw everything. Everything was in a new sight. This is tapping into your 12th level of chakra. Something they do not want you to tap into because they don't want you to be that intelligent. Okay. He was able to heal people. He was able to walk on water. He was able to manipulate people's minds into thinking that one loaf of bread was able to feed a whole plethora of people. That was through mind manipulation. Once you're able to tap into your 12th level of chakra, you're able to read people's minds and actually manipulate them into thinking that they have the power, or they have the power to do anything. You can manipulate people's mind. Like this loaf of bread, just by you looking at it, is feeding you. Even though you're not eating it, but you're looking at it. Looking at it will feed you. You had all these people thinking that this one loaf of bread felt and pretty much filled a lot of people. When in actuality, it did not. He just made them believe that. Just by looking at the bread. Fantasizing in your mind that you're eating this bread. The pure sight of wanting this bread and having it in your mind and picturing yourself eating it will fill your hunger. Saying those words, seeing his eyes all hypnotizing from his 12th level chakra, people were made to believe that they were full from that bread. People with low spiritual levels, which predominantly probably was most of the people over in Egypt, they were following gods and these pagan gods that weren't really gods. They were doing all kinds of stuff, praising donkeys and horses and whatever thing they can praise. It was kind of crazy. So here's this man coming in here, he teaching them a new way and saying this loaf of bread will feed you, and they probably didn't even eat the bread. He made them believe they ate the bread, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to show you a plethora of videos, and it's really going to break down everything. You do not have to look at you can look at the video if you want to. It's very entertaining, but if you are busy, you can just listen to the video. Okay?
Did you know Jesus of Nazareth's real name is Yeshua? And that every time you speak the name Jesus, you are in actuality saying, "Hail Zeus," a term created by the Roman Empire in an attempt to ease the transition from Roman paganism to Christianity. The true name of the man and Messiah we know as Jesus is Yeshua, translating to Joshua in Hebrew. Yeshua is believed to have been an Anunnaki hybrid, half human, half extraterrestrial, who was sent to our planet with the mission of elevating human consciousness and bestowing higher vibrational frequencies upon humanity, which he succeeded in. However, the Roman Empire and Catholic Church twisted and hid his entire teachings and life story from the public's knowledge. This intriguing narrative is drawn from ancient Gnostic Christian texts, such as the Gospel of the Holy 12 and the Nag Hammadi, which were excluded from the canonical Bible by the Vatican. According to these texts, Jesus embarked on a remarkable journey during his formative years to Egypt, India, and Tibet. At the tender age of 12, he ventured to the pyramids of Giza in the company of his mother, Mary, to become an initiate of the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. From there, he voyaged to distant eastern lands like India and Tibet, where he acquired knowledge of reincarnation, cosmic spirituality, and the art of Reiki healing. The prophecy of his birth was delivered by extraterrestrial beings that were really Anunnaki aliens, but mistaken as angelic angels of God, possessing advanced technology, including a flight machine that looked like wings and bright glowing armor which appeared godlike to our ancient ancestors. Our ancestors lacked the vocabulary to describe advanced aliens or spacecrafts. It is prominent to know any time a highly advanced species contacts a lower advanced species, the lower advanced species will deify that species. In biblical text, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth. the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary, and he came to her and said, "Greetings, Mary, do not be afraid. You have found favor with God. You are to become a mother and have a son. He will be great. He will be called the Son of the Most High." Luke 1:26. He then says, "The Holy Spirit will come on you. The power of the Most High will cover you. The holy child you give birth to will be called the Son of God." From a modern perspective, this passage unveils a truly astonishing viewpoint. When the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary and conveyed the concept of virgin conception, it may not have been a result of a divine intervention, but rather a process of artificial insemination or vitrofertilization, which is a type of fertility treatment where eggs are combined with sperm outside of your body in a laboratory. In the Gospel of the Holy 12, Mary's mother, whose name was Elizabeth, was a virgin birth, as well, meaning the same process of in vitro fertilization was used with Jesus' grandmother in ancient times. This notion draws parallels with the ancient Sumerian Babylonian tablets, where Isis, also known as Ninhursag, utilizes similar genetic methods to birth the first Homo sapiens sapien Adam. This is all advanced science and technology being used in ancient times, disguised as magic or godly power. Within this intriguing framework, it is theorized that Yeshua, also known as Jesus, emerges as an extraordinary hybrid, blending genetic material from both unspecified Anunnaki forebears and his human lineage through Mary. This concept potentially sheds light on the accounts found in the Nag Hammadi texts, where Jesus is described as marrying and having offspring, potentially contributing to the perpetuation of the Merovingian bloodline, which endures till this day. To truly fathom the enigmatic years and unanswered questions surrounding Yeshua, we must journey back in time, roughly 3 decades prior to his birth, to the tumultuous terrain of Judea and ancient Israel. Here, a land oppressed by the formidable grip of the Roman Empire, the Jewish community viewed the Romans as foreign oppressors. King Herod, a mere figurehead installed by Emperor Augustus, was charged with upholding Roman rule. Yet the whispers of a Messiah, a deliverer destined to free the Jewish people from Roman subjugation, echoed across the region. Many vied for this revered title. Among the many was a rebellious slave named Simon of Perea, whose tragic end of being killed and not surviving cast an even larger shadow of hopelessness 3 decades prior to the arrival of Yeshua, also known as Jesus. At the age of 12, following a profound conversation with rabbis, Yeshua and his mother embarked on a journey to Egypt. Their purpose was to facilitate Jesus' initiation into the ancient Egyptian mystery schools. Jesus embarked on his journey into the heart of these ancient mysteries. He walked barefoot through the desert, a lone figure guided by the North Star. Along the way, he encountered wandering ascetics and wise sages who shared their wisdom and prepared him for the trials that lay ahead. Upon reaching the ancient temples and sites of the mystery schools, Jesus was met by the stern gaze of the gatekeeper, an elderly Egyptian sage with eyes that seemed to pierce into the very soul. Without a word, the gatekeeper led Jesus through the colossal temples into a world hidden from the common eye. Inside, the schools were a labyrinth of dimly lit corridors, each leading to a different chamber of enlightenment. In one chamber, Jesus was immersed in scorching heat, forced to endure until he found the coolness of inner peace within himself. In another, he faced illusions and mirages that sought to distract him from his path. But Jesus, with his unwavering faith, saw through these illusions and pressed on. The most harrowing trial of all awaited him in the chamber of reflection. There, he was confronted with his deepest fears, doubts, and the allure of power and temptation. It was a battle of the soul, a test of whether he would remain true to his divine purpose or succumb to the darkness of his ego that lurked within every human heart. For months to years, Jesus wrestled with his inner demons, his body emaciated, his spirit bruised, but his faith unbroken. In the end, he emerged from the chamber of reflection, radiant and transformed. He had conquered the trials, and in doing so, he had become a spiritual Messiah of Christ consciousness. According to the Gnostic Gospels, Yeshua's last and final test of initiation was the ceremonial crucifixion inside the pyramids of Giza, a stark departure from the brutal crucifixion traditionally associated with him in his later years. It was a test of consciousness control, where Yeshua, through breath control and meditation, entered a cataleptic state. His heart ceased to beat, his breath stopped. And so we come back to the exemplar known as Jesus the Christ, who is said in Revelations 11:8 to have been crucified in Egypt. Revelations 11:8 reads, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified."
Don't worry, it's 6 parts.
The wisdom of millennia welcomed him. They recognized Jesus' spiritual potency, and their eyes spoke of a shared purpose that transcended language. Through meditation and contemplation, Jesus learned the art of Reiki healing from the monks. The monks taught him to channel the universal life force energy, known as Ki or Chi, through his hands. They showed him how to harmonize the body's energy centers with Kundalini healing and chakras. Then also how to send healing vibrations to those in need and channel connections to manifest physical food, wine and water under command of his mind and tongue. Under their guidance and his unfathomable focus, Jesus honed his abilities, knowing that he was truly a Son of God and Christ in the flesh, which Christ is enlightenment and awareness of self that any being can achieve, becoming an immortal mortal from Christ consciousness. As Jesus delved deeper into the ancient teachings, he also learned about the cycle of reincarnation. The monks shared stories of souls that traversed countless lifetimes, each incarnation an opportunity for growth and spiritual evolution. Jesus embraced this concept, knowing that he too had journeyed through time, with each life serving as a stepping stone on his path to enlightenment. Years passed, and Jesus' time in Tibet drew to a close. The monks, who had become his spiritual brothers, bidded him farewell. Leaving Tibet, Jesus returned to the lands of the Middle East, carrying with him the profound knowledge of Reiki healing and the wisdom of reincarnation which he introduced to the people of Judea. He began his ministry not only as a spiritual leader, but also as a healer, using his hands to channel the healing energies he had mastered in India and Tibet. Throughout his life, Jesus shared his teachings of love, compassion, and healing, and his profound understanding of the interconnections of all beings. His journey to India and Tibet had transformed him into a divine messenger, and his legacy would echo through the ages, inspiring seekers to explore the depths of spirituality and the healing power that resides within us all. Remarkably, these unconventional claims find support in historical accounts. In the late 19th century, a Russian doctor named Nicholas Notovich embarked on extensive travels through India, Tibet, and Afghanistan. At the Tibetan Buddhist monastery of Hemis, he stumbled upon a document titled The Life of Saint Isa. This document narrates the story of a young man named Yeshua, born in Israel, who was considered the Son of God by Vedic scholars. From the ages of 20 to 29, Yeshua was educated in Buddhist texts. This newfound knowledge aligns with the concept of the 3 wise men and suggests that Yeshua traveled to India at the age of 18, where he learned and taught as a Buddhist.
Don't worry, I'm going to play the entire thing, so do not be alarmed. I'll open up the chat when it's done, which is pointless because no one probably will comment anyway, so why even have a chat room? I end up taking it off altogether. It kind of, takes away of humiliation of no one talking. So I probably end up doing that. And yes, I do see you, Alicia. Welcome, welcome.
Gospel of Thomas says these are the actual sayings of Jesus. The first 3 passages of the Gospel reads, "And he said, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death." Jesus said, "Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all." Jesus said, "If those who lead you say to you, 'See, the kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty." After 2 decades of exploration, Yeshua returned to Jerusalem to share his teachings and become the Savior and Messiah to his people. He gathered a following of men and many women, including Mary Magdalene as his most ardent supporter. Despite her pivotal role, some sought to tarnish her reputation, relegating her to the status of a prostitute in biblical texts. Nevertheless, historical evidence reveals her as a significant disciple who even built a church dedicated to Yeshua that is still standing in Israel. An intriguing cultural context arises when we consider that Jewish rabbis were traditionally required to marry to better understand the human experience. This tradition suggests that Yeshua too most likely had a wife and children, which does not lessen who he was or him being the Messiah. It was a mandatory tradition of the Jewish culture to be married and have children. What made Yeshua different from every person on this planet was his message and promise of afterlife for all people. The prevailing Jewish philosophy at the time was rooted in the belief that life began with the breath and ended with its cessation, with no heaven or hell ideology that was later created by the Vatican. Yeshua's teachings challenged this core belief, asserting that conscious awareness transcended physical death. This heretical notion threatened the very foundations of Judaism and contributed to Yeshua's characterization as a religious revolutionary, ultimately leading to his crucifixion. In essence, Yeshua's crucifixion, as depicted in this unconventional narrative, was a conscious act to demonstrate the immortality of the human spirit. This act aimed to unite Jewish beliefs with those of other cultures, recognizing the persistence of conscious awareness beyond the physical realm. The second crucifixion of Jesus Christ is one of the most profound and debated events in human history, and it has been portrayed differently in various biblical accounts. While the New Testament Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John offer slightly varying alternative endings in many different translations on the crucifixion. However, some historical and theoretical discussions have arisen over the years, exploring the possibility that Jesus may have survived the crucifixion. In the ancient city of Jerusalem, during a time of great tension and political unrest, Jesus stood before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. The room was dimly lit, and the air was thick with anticipation as Pilate questioned this enigmatic Messiah from Galilee. The claims surrounding Jesus. Many had hailed him as a king, and yet his demeanor and message were unlike any earthly monarch. Pilate, seeking to understand the nature of Jesus' kingdom, asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" With calm and unwavering conviction, Jesus replied, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders, but now my kingdom is from another place." John 18:36. Pilate furrowed his brow, puzzled by this response. He had expected a straightforward answer, but Jesus spoke of a kingdom that transcended the earthly realm. Sensing Pilate's confusion, Jesus continued, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." This statement by Yeshua, also known as Jesus, can be interpreted as his heritage was royal from another world or planet, and he was sent here to transcend mankind's consciousness the best he could for the time period he lived in. Later in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is described as being crucified and later buried in a tomb, with no suggestion of an alternative ending. Similarly, the Gospel of Mark, which was written 300 years later, tells the story of Jesus' crucifixion and the followers seeing his tomb empty and eventually seeing him later revived from death with no wounds. However, the oldest original translation from Aramaic to Greek of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which the scribes referenced, the story tells an unfinished story of the women disciples walking to the tomb and nothing else. This leaving no clarification on what really happened after Yeshua's burial, and the scribes had to finish their story on their own with their writing prowess. One theory is that Jesus may have experienced a form of suspended animation on the cross, resembling a deep coma. In this state, his vital signs could have become so weak that onlookers mistakenly assumed him to be dead. After being taken down from the cross and placed in a cool tomb, he could have been easily revived by angels who were really Anunnaki extraterrestrials and could have revived him in a technological rejuvenation chamber, which can heal wounds and revive you from a deathly state. It's important to note that these theories are highly speculative, but many of them can be possible due to all the accounts and text stating Yeshua living on and preaching under the name of the Egyptian 20 years later, from the crucifixion on the Mountain of Olives, preaching the same teachings of Yeshua, in the same location which can be found in the book of Josephus. Nevertheless, the crucifixion of Jesus remained a central event in Christian theology, symbolizing his sacrifice for humanity's sins. However, we learn that the Council of Nicaea twisted the original idea Yeshua stood for and fabricated a viewpoint to keep the general population in fear of going to hell and pay penance to them for heavenly reward. This idea suggests that individuals may follow moral or religious principles, not because they are inherently virtuous or godly, but because they fear negative consequences, such as burning in hell for eternity. The Catholic Church, which was established by the Roman Emperor Constantine hundreds of years after Yeshua's crucifixion, made Christianity and the story of Yeshua into the main religion. However, to get all the people to converge their beliefs, Yeshua's name was changed to Isius, to match with the Greek god Zeus, and early depictions of Jesus in the Roman Empire were statues of a young Zeus who was now meant to represent Yeshua, also known as Jesus. The letter J did not come into the name Jesus until as late as 1524, when it was invented by Gian Giorgio Trissino. Constantine, the first Roman emperor to openly embrace Christianity, had a complex relationship with the faith that has intrigued historians for centuries. While it's not entirely accurate to say he did not really like Christianity, his conversion appears to have been driven by a combination of political pragmatism and power plus reputation of the people. In the early 4th century, as Constantine sought to unify the vast Roman Empire, he recognized the potential benefits of a single, unifying religion. Christianity, with its growing popularity, offered a compelling opportunity. However, Constantine's own religious beliefs and practices had deep roots in Roman paganism, and he may not have been entirely comfortable with the new Christian faith's tenets. To bridge this gap, Constantine implemented a policy of syncretism, blending elements of prior paganism with Christianity. He saw this as a way to ease the transition for his subjects and maintain a sense of continuity with traditional Roman religious practices. As a result, some aspects of pagan rituals and symbols found their way into early Christian practices. For example, the date of Christmas, December 25th, was chosen to coincide with the Roman pagan festival of Saturnalia and not the actual birthday of Jesus. In 325 AD, Constantine convened the First Council of Nicaea to address theological disputes within the Christian community. While this council aimed to establish a unified Christian doctrine, it was also influenced by Constantine's desire for religious cohesion in his empire. The Nicene Creed, formulated during this council, helped standardize Christian beliefs all into one book by utilizating ancient Sumerian tablets and many other ancient tablets to create a story and guideline for mankind. Unfortunately, they also made it reflect the political interests of the time. In essence, Constantine's embrace of Christianity was multifaceted. It served both his political agenda of unifying the empire and his personal beliefs, which were likely influenced by his upbringing in a pagan Roman world. His efforts to merge pagan traditions with Christianity were not uncommon during this period of transition, and they left a lasting imprint on the development of Christian rituals and symbolism. Constantine's legacy as the Christian emperor remains a complex chapter in the history of the faith, illustrating the interplay between Jesus and religion in ancient times. Despite the Roman Empire's claim to represent Yeshua's teachings, Yeshua's enduring impact extends far beyond the confines of religious boundaries. He emerges as a deeply significant spiritual icon, challenging established beliefs and offering humanity the hope of reaching a higher state of spiritual being and the true ideology of the Creator of all and not the false God of the Bible. Whether you regard Yeshua as the one and only Messiah, an extraterrestrial hybrid with connections to the Anunnaki, or as an exemplar of enlightenment attainable by all in the form of Christ consciousness, his narrative continues to serve as a wellspring of inspiration and a catalyst for profound introspection. His life and testament beckons us to delve into the enigmatic facets of existence and explore the boundless potential inherent within the human soul. Regrettably, the teachings and principles associated with Yeshua have undergone transformations due to the Council of Nicaea and the influence of the Roman Empire. If Yeshua was here now, he would definitely have angst towards the Vatican from the dogma of religion they created off his name and teachings. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to Astral Legends on YouTube for more ancient myths and legends. May the light forever guide and be with you. See you on the next episode.
There you go. Yeah. That explained in detail pretty much what was in the book of Enoch, which I did read. I am currently reading a different version of the book of Enoch because there's different versions of it. A lot of it's male dominant, you know. Well, a lot of it, let me just be real. All of it is male dominant and superiority. They talk about goddesses and then they quickly venture off into other things. They cut off the story of goddess Isis on there. She was on there for maybe twice. Once, during creation of, modern day humans, and then another part later, and then that's pretty much it. They didn't even include her fight with Amun-Ra and how she defeated him and gave Horus the throne. That completely got exempted from the book altogether, but maybe, it was a different time from when the book was created. But the book of Enoch predates any Bible, gospel, lost scrolls, or whatever that they found in the desert. They claim to have found in the desert. But I have different theories on that as well. Anyway, but I hope you guys learned something and comprehend that we are the offsprings of guardians, gods, and goddesses. And a lot of scientists can tell you this. They can definitely tell you that there's a lot of DNA that they do not know what it is. And you may have called, well, let me rephrase that. They may have called this DNA junk. And the reason they called it junk because they, A, did not want you to know what that DNA was for. And B, a lot of them didn't even know what it was. So they called it junk. Okay? But there has been update on that type of DNA. Now, that DNA is not in everybody. Not everybody has that DNA. Most of it is pretty much confined into the mitochondria Eve, which is predominantly found in Negro people. They are the ones who have that particular DNA. That's the DNA that's mixed with the Neanderthals. I can't even speak. The Neanderthals that were here before the Anunnaki got here, which you probably heard him say. And that DNA is mixed with, like I said, Anunnaki and the Neanderthals. So mixed with the people that were already here before the Anunnaki and Neanderthals. They call that a mitochondria Eve because it's one of the oldest DNAs. And that's predominantly found in Negro people because Negro people were already here. Black people. I don't like calling them African. The more I get into the study of our people, we're most of us not even from Africa. You know, I did the two Egypts here, where the first Egypt was here in America because they call it the Pharaoh Land Americas. I did a whole video about it. I'm not sure how many views it got. I mean, you already know what's going on my channel. But most of us are from America. They ventured off into Africa doing a fallout of all of this. Predominantly when Amaran started doing his thing, and then he pretty much burnt everything. Well, allegedly burnt everything. There's no history of that, but actually there is kind of history. There's no history of he burnt everything down in Africa, but there's definitely history of floods and fires down here in America. So he probably did, just wasn't down there. So he wanted to destroy everything. Well, Enki anyway. God Enki wanted to destroy everything. So that's pretty much what he did. And there's a lot of evidence here in America of all of these events. But of course, America is so secluded and well guarded, and definitely strategic when it comes to digging. More so down there in Africa. I mean, y'all know how our political system is. They're not going to allow you freely to dig anything. I mean, America is the only land that's so protective of the past. They so protective of the past, it's ridiculous. They hide it with every power and every fiber of their being. They don't want women to be freely to choose themselves in terms of abortion, claiming it's murder. I don't know how they think abortion is murder. I mean, the term of abortion, when they say the ending far from the abortion is before the baby actually become a full-blown human. Well, technically it's far from when it becomes a human. I think it's like 12 weeks or something like that. And that's a little, actually that's a lot kind of, before a baby is allowed to be born and actually live. About 5 months, a baby can kind of live. It'll be an ICU or an incubator or something like that for a long time. But before about 5 months, a baby cannot live outside a woman's body because it's not fully developed. Which means the brain, the heart, lungs, whatever is not fully developed. So, but they are saying the potential of a baby is murder. So the potential of a baby that can't even live outside a woman's body is murder. Or how about the first, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks? It's not even a full baby. It's like a cell link to the inner walls of a woman's uterus. It's not even look. It's like it looked like an alien. So, but they can consider that murder. I don't know how they can be a hypocrite to something that cannot even live outside a woman's body, but they still have death row and they still killing people. Yeah, for crimes they may or may not be guilty for, but it's okay to kill people for crimes, and these are full-blown humans, full-blown adult people. It's okay to kill them, but a baby that cannot live outside a woman's body is considered murder. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. So you just don't like the idea of a baby, not the actual baby is in the baby that can't even live, but the idea of the baby, if the baby wishes to live or not, which is still a gamble. And I mean, be cruel or anything, but I hate when men try to control our biological clock. But these are the older generations, and most of them be dead in 5 years anyway. People who are in Congress, most of them be dead within 5 years. So we can just sit back and watch them all die off. And once they die off, things will change. Because right now we still have the old folks with the old beliefs still up there trying to live in the past. This is why America cannot progress forward. We have Japan, who's literally freaking in future now. All the little gadgets down there. I'm not going to get into the theories of how they got all those little secrets. That's a whole nother video. But they got all their gadgets. They are literally in the future right now. Seriously. We can't do that because our political system is too busy being stuck in the freaking past. They don't want us to move forward. They don't want to have it because we have old fogies like Biden and Trump and all the other fogies from freaking Jim Crow days still stuck in the past. We need someone who's willing to go full throttle with the future and not stuck in the past with old beliefs and old ways of thinking. But considering they're not trying to get Robert Kennedy Jr., he's running, who actually wants to move forward The other gentleman whose names escape me, there's two individual Democrats who are running but getting overshadowed by Biden because Biden is getting the political backing and the star quality, from celebrities for publicity. This is the same man who consistently sent money to Israel for genocide. This is the same man who turned away Haiti people, but then sending money to Ukraine. Billions of dollars in Ukraine. It's the same man who's desperately trying to get Negro voters and got Kenya rulers lounging in his little White House right now, just trying to convince Negro people to vote for him. He do this every time around political season. Then you start seeing him doing other things. So I'm sorry, I can't run with Biden. Biden is too fickle for me because at the end of the day, he's the color who he is who he is, and he is who he is. At the end of the day, this is nothing but a political game for him to try to gain voters. I understand they say that we're literally the minority, but in actuality, they need our votes. So in actuality, we're not really the minority. We are the majority. Because why do they need our votes? If we're such a minority and we're not a significant part of you becoming whoever you are, why do you go out of your way to try to get our votes? Who cares if we vote or not? See, because we're not a minority. They just have us thinking we're in the minority because they want us to believe and think we are a minority. We're not. That includes Hispanics, Indians, Negroes, Asians. We are the four groups who they consider minority. Yes. Caucasians think they're from this land. No offense to my Caucasian people who are my blood, actually. I love you all, but the fact is fact. It's not you. This is your ancestors. Okay, not you. Caucasians, who are, all of them are not even from here. They're actually from Germany. But they call us African Americans. We're not, most of us are from here, but they call us African Americans. Okay, we need to change white to German Americans because most of you, if not all of you, are from Germany. So we're going to call you German Americans because you're not from America either. And we'll just call it a day with that. I hate when they call us African Americans. It pisses me off. I used to be okay with that. But the more I dig into history and the truth, the more I don't like that terminology, that stamp. Don't call me that. The next person to call you that, why do you call me African Americans? Your people are from, what are you, German? Your people are from Germany. Your people are not from here either. From Germany and from the Caucasus Mountains. Don't get me started. I get it, and they just shut up real quick with that. Okay? There's more evidence of Moors being here and ruling this land than them. There's even picture evidence over in the Library of Congress. And I'm not even lying. Slavery didn't start until the mid-1700s. But they want you to believe it started in the 1500s when it started in the mid-1700s. You go into when genocide started, it says, and I even posted on my community chat, it started in the mid-1700s because we start ruling around the mid-1700s. Not in the 1500s. They over-embellished slavery. Slavery was technically over, 100 and some years. Not 400 years, 100 and some years. If that. But they want us to believe it was over 400 years. See? That mind control. Make them believe that they're a minority. Make them believe that they're nothing above us. Yeah. Stop believing that crap. I don't mean to venture off in that, but I just had to say that. Now, let's get back to this Yeshua thing. Now, Yeshua, or Yahshua, however you want to pronounce it, doesn't even matter. Okay? Again, I hope you guys learned something and comprehend that we are the offspring of guardians. I call them guardians or gods and goddesses. And we should not praise and idolize these people. We should praise and idolize ourselves. I mean, you can honor them and their contribution to the growth of our world. We can do that, yes. Say my brothers and sisters, my gods and goddesses, in reputation of your offspring or your ancestors or whatever. But you don't need to idolize them. Some of them do want to be idolized. But they just want to be appreciated. We also should not complete our prayers with Amen. As this glorifies an unlucky God. You know what? Here's another series of videos that pretty much break down Amen. And I give you an alternate prayer that you can say that will bless your food and cleanse your food without having to say Amen. Okay? Because you're praying an identity who, here's the video right here. Okay? But hold up, before I go there. This is God Amon. Okay, this is God Amon. When you see him, he was Reddy Brown. He was considered a Reddy Brown identity. And, well, Negro, black, whatever. And he generally had these two little horn things on the top of his head, so to speak. He wasn't a very tall, there was very tall. I mean, like really tall. But he was kind of shorter than the rest of the Anunnaki gods and goddesses. He wasn't as tall as all of them. This supposed to be Nefertiti. Nefertiti did not look like this. And I posted something about that on my TikTok, I believe. Yeah, she doesn't look like this. This was an image created thousands of years later of Nefertiti, so you couldn't praise the real image of Nefertiti. She did not look like this at all. She really did not look like this. When you see the sketches and carvings of Nefertiti, she don't look nothing like this. This is something that they created later. Okay? This is, of course, goddess Isis, and these are just some of the images of the gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses doesn't necessarily mean they're gods and goddesses. It's kind of like saying President Biden or Lord whatever or Princess whatever or Prince whatever. They just call themselves gods. You know, you can call yourself goddess too, like Goddess Keisha, you know, and whoever's else in the comment section. Goddess Alicia, whoever. Go ahead and call yourself that. Matter of fact, you should be calling yourself that. By all means. Okay, we have Atum Ra. Amun Ra is supposed to be the head god. He's supposed to be over the Anunnaki identity. No one even knows how he looked. But there's been little carvings and stories and tablets that they try to hide that he was really dark black. Like really black. Like black. Like bluish black. You know, and really, really tall. Like very, very tall. Of course they so tapped into their highest chakras of consciousness. They can, you know, shrink themselves to modern day levels, which is about 6'4" or something like that. They do have the capability to do that. You can do that too once you reach that, they call it Christ chakra, Christ-like chakra. Yeah. And they say tap into your Reiki. And there's incense to help you tap into your Reiki power. I have incense to do that. I'm trying to tap into my Reiki power. I'm actually going to go on a 40-day fasting starting June 1st. And I'm going to literally record my entire process. I want to do this. I have to do this. I don't know why, but I have to. And then you have Shu and Tefnut, and you have Goddess Gabe. Actually, God Gabe, I'm sorry. And Goddess Nut. Nut, I heard a lot about her. I sure did. Yeah. I actually have cousins named God. I'm not God, but goodness. I have cousins named Osiris and Isis, and they're actually our brother and sister. And Osiris actually looked like Osiris. And my cousin Isis actually looked like Isis. And I've been trying to ask them, do they know why they're named? I've been trying to ask her mother that, my auntie that, but I haven't got around to it, which is strange. I mean, they're very short. They're not as tall as these people were back then, but they actually look like these people. And then we have God Set, which is the god of chaos and storms. You know, this god here is very, very active. If you wish to pray to this deity, like, I want it to rain, I want it to storm, but, you know, don't pray for harm. It's like, I just want it to rain, I want it to storm. He probably would do it. Not immediately, but you probably get it within, like, 48 hours. He would do it. Seriously. He would do it. He likes showing his power. I mean, he's a narcissistic person. He loves it. Just say it. And God Horus is one of the first warriors. He was pretty much who they named, what they call it, Angel Michael or something like that. In the Bible, he was a great warrior, protector, God Horus. This is who Jesus was, his little steps, so to speak, his practicing, his teaching. He wanted to mimic the story of God Horus because Horus pretty much did it before him. You know, he did it thousands of years before, well, maybe 100 years at that time. No, I think it was 1,000 years at that time. Before Jesus and several other attempts who definitely tried to tap into that highest chakra of God Horus. But God Horus, he was on a whole nother density. He was a density in general. He wasn't human, common density or part human, part density. God Horus was a density in general. He wasn't human. So he definitely had followers like that. Well, you know, students anyway, and friends like that. this is who Jesus was mimic of, and this is who they tried to erase, God Horus, and they wanted to replace him with Yahshua, who they called Jesus. They wanted to do that. Was Jesus is supposed to be Zeus, you know. See, it's always hidden meanings of things, and the church probably know about this. A lot of the church people who don't probably know about this, they only know what they was taught. Some of them are very naive. You should definitely challenge them in Bible study. I've done that a couple times, and it's nice to see a preacher or a pastor get tongue-tied and get angry and red and sweaty and stuff. It just makes me feel great. It's like a fucking mental orgasm for me. I mean, a curse, but it was beautiful. So you can definitely challenge your knowledge of these things. I actually, you know, encourage you to do it. Please question everything. You are truth seekers, conspiracy theorists. We question everything. We just do. Don't take their word for it. A lot of them are really sheep, and they're only repeating what their brother or father or whoever taught them. A lot of pastors are very naive, and a large number of them are very narcissistic, conning, and all they want is money and to be praised like gods. You probably get a few seldom ones who are actually genuinely good people, you know, but not very many, and a lot of them are not. No. So anyway, all right. So I'm gonna give you the story of Amun-Ra, and then after I give you the story of Amun-Ra, and then I will tell you or give you some kind of alternate prayer where you can say that is like a cleansing spell, considering praying is pretty much a spell. Anyway, going to the altar every month is pretty much renewing the sheep veil they have over you. It's just like witchcraft. And I believe I explained this several times. You know, the altar, the bread, the wine, the oil they put in, that's all part of witchcraft. You know, and the church think they're slick. This is why they tell you not to practice in witchcraft, because they don't want you to know what they're doing. This is why they want Negroes to learn or read, because they didn't want us to find out the lies that they're putting in the Bibles or what they're teaching people. So they want Negroes to learn the truth. I don't want them to learn. And then when it's open for us to learn, and we started going through school and then doing some things, they're like, okay, we got to start charging for college now. I personally don't think professors should be paid more than teachers. I think teachers should be paid, if not equivalent to not equivalent to professors, but more than professors. I think professors should not be paid that much. I mean, I appreciate them, but you are teaching adults. A majority of them have discipline. They already reached puberty. They already been through puberty, okay? Right now, they just probably rebelling, But all that crap and challenges that a normal teacher has to endure during grades 1 through 12 is freaking crazy. They should get paid more than professors, if not equivalent to professors. I wish somebody who has the power to put that into law, because teachers should be getting bank. Seriously, just saying. That's just something I just wanted to put out in the atmosphere. Do with it as you will. Now, Amun-Ra. This is the identity that most of us back in the day were taught to end our prayers in, which means that your prayers are going to nobody. Jesus did not want you to end anything in his name. He was merely a messenger, like many messengers that came along the way, and more who are still to come, and all of them are not males. So get over that. There's female messengers as well, and actually it's going to be more female messengers than males. The male messengers who are now, who literally stealing some of my teachings and going around town and becoming rich off my work. I'm not going to say his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah. In him. Yeah. So he will be exposed for his plagiarism. Okay. And his lies. Because most of the stuff he says he's making up anyway. But we're not going there right now. I can't wait to debate him. But the point I'm trying to say is Amun-Ra is who we are. Well, I'm not. I haven't done this in my prayers in this man's name, and it's been a while. That most people are ending their prayers in. And you guys need to stop. Please learn history before it's too late. And I'm going to give you a bit of that history right now. So here we go.
Did you know that when we conclude our prayers with Amen, We are in actuality giving worship and praise to an evil Anunnaki alien man named Marduk, who is also known as Amun-Ra in the Egyptian pantheon. Amun-Ra gave a decree thousands of years ago on Earth that humans should honor and thank him by saying his name Amen at the end of their prayers. Amun-Ra, also recognized as Marduk in Sumerian text, was the chief god deity of Babylon and is an immortal Anunnaki alien who has covertly governed and owned planet Earth for millennia and still owns it now. Amun-Ra was responsible for initiating the significant pyramid wars in Africa and the Middle East over 50,000 years ago, leaving the lands in complete desert due to the advanced weaponry that destroyed most plant life. His intention: he yearned to be the singular god revered by human beings who were engineered in the Garden of Eden. Each member of the Anunnaki royals was allocated designated periods in the cosmic constellations to govern and rule Earth. However, a significant Great Flood incident resulted in the overshadowing of Amun-Ra's designated time to rule. The Anunnaki and Atlanteans from Nibiru represented a diverse civilization. The Anunnaki royal family from Nibiru possessed a lineage that connected to both reptilian draconian and Lyran Syrian ancestries. This lineage, which arose 12 million years in the past, was the result of a peaceful union of marriage agreement between a royal reptilian female from the Orion Empire and a Lyran Syrian male from the Galactic Worlds Federation. This union initiated a brief period of harmony and additionally birthed a novel royal hybrid race. These warrior-like beings, muscular and exhibiting both various dark and light skin tones. The full-blood royals were said to have skin so dark that it would appear Arcturian blue to the human eyes, and with facial attributes reminiscent of African Asiatic people, which is recognized in our ancient records today as the extraterrestrial Anunnaki royalty. They are the paramount monarchical leaders of the diverse civilization of Nibiru and, interestingly, they represent the engineer-creator gods of modern humans, venerated in ancient Sumerian to Babylonian civilizations. Deep within this lineage, Marduk was the son of Enki, Nibiru's eldest and most learned prince. Enki was born to King Anu and a servant woman of Pleiadian heritage. Widely recognized for his wisdom and might, Enki had a son named Marduk, also known as Amun-Ra. After a long myriad of years, when he finally ascended to power on Earth, he decreed that whenever humans communicate with the divine, they should direct their devotion to him and conclude their invocations by uttering his name, Amen. Amun-Ra would use his rule to bring mankind into a state of dehumanization, of assault, slavery, genocide, and destruction in his name and the one religion of him. Amun-Ra ordered Joshua and Moses in biblical text to slaughter children, assault and sacrifice innocent women and men in cities who worshipped other Anunnaki aliens other than him. Deuteronomy 22:28-29 reads like this: If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and assault her and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. This is one of the many clear texts in this gospel that showcases this deity was not the creator God that we believe in, but an alien man giving incentives for genocide and assault of modern human communities for his patriarchal gain and reptilian mindset passed down from his heritage. He was constantly in confrontations with his kin regarding his ambition to be the paramount deity of both humans and the planet in archaic eras. By pressuring the infamous Pharaoh Akhenaten of Egypt to introduce the concept of monotheism, insisting on the renunciation of venerating multiple gods who are really extraterrestrial beings, and urging allegiance solely to himself as the sole and only god, now known as Amun-Ra, the sun disk god, no longer keeping his Sumerian Babylonian name, Marduk. The canonized Bible specifically the books of Exodus, Judges, and Deuteronomy, in truth depicts a conflict between humanoid aliens equipped with sophisticated technology who manipulated humans as instruments, compelling them to battle and eliminate each other in the name of their god, Amun-Ra. Marduk's lineage, including his progenitor Enki and sibling Thoth, were disconcerted by his aggressive tendencies, which echoed the sinister nature of his uncle, Enlil, also identified as Yahweh, who governed ancient Egypt for a span of 16,000 years, was instructed by his father Enki to depart from Egypt, abandon the contentious pyramid conflicts with the devoted Olmecs, and establish a fresh civilization in the territories we currently recognize as the Mayan and Aztec regions of the world. Recognized as an exceptionally potent Anunnaki, Marduk, or Amun-Ra, was reputed to embody the capabilities and technologies of all Anunnaki beings of all worlds. His legendary triumph over the formidable Dragon Queen and sovereign Tiamat, and her legion during an Anunnaki intervention on Earth approximately 350,000 years in the past, earned him immense respect. The Anunnaki, in appreciation, conferred upon him 50 titles and designated him as their leader, with 50 being a number of great import, formerly linked to his uncle Enlil, who Marduk supplanted as Commander God of Earth after his reign. Operating from an orbiting saucer-like craft or shining sun disk, Amun-Ra's dominion extended primarily over regions like ancient Babylon and eventually, after contest with his brother Thoth, ancient Egypt. He revealed his genuine form solely during a rendezvous with Moses on Mount Sinai. Furthermore, Marduk is recognized as the father of Nabu, the Babylonian wisdom deity, whose facial depiction is immortalized on the iconic Great Sphinx. Popular belief holds that Amun-Ra's lineage is intertwined with that of the ancient Egyptian monarchs, and remnants of this royal genealogy, including the renowned King Tut lineage, persist in modern-day humans through breeding and genetic markers placed through advanced technology. Yet Amun-Ra's disposition was far from benevolent, with a distinct narcissistic god complex streak. Our souls have already ordained that we hour the light against the dark. As we continue in the age of Pisces, his dominion over our world remains unchallenged. However, once we enter the age of Aquarius, our souls will return to the higher astral dimensions and new Earth. His current whereabouts remain uncertain, but indications suggest his proximity is close, much like the Sith Lord Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars films. Speculations abound regarding secret cabals and the elite who may venerate Amun-Ra and possibly operate under his aegis, striving to perpetuate our intellectual and spiritual subjugation on this planet. In retrospect, we are all like Neo and Trinity in the Matrix, forever battling and conquering the mathematical yin and yang multiverse. We ask that you take these spiritually truthful tenets at your behest and seek out the truth in your own time. And then you will begin to see the connections of these ancient mysteries unveiled. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Astral Legends for more episodes on ancient mysteries and legends. May the eternal light forever guide your path. See you on the next episode.
Okay. Hope you got a lot of insight from that. I see you. I do see your comment, Indra. I know it's hard to understand. She said, amen, yes. Did you learn anything from the video? I'll show you in just a second. Oh, I'll actually just give you a prayer. I should have typed it on here, but I really didn't. I'm so sorry for that. Something I just came... Oh, hi, Alicia. My regular. It is a lot. It is a lot. And don't be discouraged. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay? I'm going to be real with you. I became more spiritual when I started studying more. Because I always felt that I was forced into the Jesus or Yeshua or Yeshua, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, Yeshua. I was always forced. I felt as a child that I was forced to praise this unknown entity. Okay, didn't even know who he was. I was forced, and the church scares you to praise this individual, even though saying his name's praise, it's always hidden meanings in the English language or the language in general. You know, like good morning, which means mourning, as in mourning someone's death. Some of the slave owners used to say like, oh, it's a good morning, because they killed I don't know how many people the day before. So, or just recently, so they call it a good morning. That carried on for years and the translation got lost. Good morning, you're glorifying death. You know, when you're saying bless you, you're saying be less you. Like, please be less you. So when you're blessing your food, you're saying be less food, be less nourishing, be less da-da-da-da. There's always hidden meanings in words. People think, okay, this is crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's the truth. Nothing it is what it is. And I know that it's scary and people are like, okay, Keisha, what's going on? I start studying more and I'm realizing my parents was just as naive and brainwashed as everyone else. They didn't know. They were forced. They know now. If they following me around, they know something. But the more I tap into my spiritualness, I'm calm, even though my life is not the greatest right now. I should be seriously jumping off the walls. You know, I'm calm. I'm spiritually calm, which shocks how calm I am. And all I want to do is learn more and more and more. I just want to know more. I want to travel. I want to do all that. And I'm traveling. I'm gonna put it into the atmosphere. I'm traveling. Learning everything. Exactly. It's good to stay home and have your own little church. Have your own little church. Okay? And I'm going to get into the soul selling in just a moment here. Okay? It's really good to have your own church. Let me just explain that a little bit, my truth seekers here. Okay? I'm going to give you a nice little prayer that you can say to cleanse your food. And I'm going to type it up. I'm going to put it in the comment section. I'm going to pin it for you. Right? It's going to be right underneath the timestamps. Well, technically, we don't need a timestamp, really. It's going to only be 2 timestamps, you know. No, it's not going. I'm not going to put a timestamp for this video. But it'll be right. I pinned it in the comment section. Okay? This is the prayer that I say. Now, people, the church, again, do not want you to learn witchcraft because they don't want you to know what they're doing. When I started learning the process of witchcraft, I started realizing the church has been doing witchcraft on us for freaking thousands of years. Well, hundreds of years, technically. This is why they tell you not to learn that stuff, because they're doing it. You know, they're doing it. I was like, oh gosh, this is what the church is doing. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. You go into a church after learning all this stuff, you say, oh, my people are so lost. You know, the more you in your prayers and Jesus our mind, is the more you're going to stay brainwashed as a sheep and a puppet. You have to become a spiritual person to become an individual and to exit out of that puppet mentality and become an individual, a spiritual person. Okay? And it reeks from you. People feel it. It glows from your inner soul. Okay? So the prayer I do, you can call it witchcraft, which is what prayers are. And you don't suppose, if you do pray, you don't pray with your hands closed and your head down. You pray with your hands open, your head up. You can have your eyes closed. That way you can be open to receive in physical and in spiritual or whatever gifts, don't call them blessings, gifts that may come upon you. It's like giving a physical representation of manifestation. Have your hands up, away, apart, and your head up. Not down, not closed. That is a witchcraft standpoint that you can use for binding spells. You take a piece of paper of the person you're trying to bind, or you take a black string and wrap around their picture and you bind it. You close it. I want to bind this person from da 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 da. Those are witchcraft gestures of dark magic. So when you close your hands and you bow your head, you are keeping anything that you are praying for from coming true. And then they have you ended in Jesus' name, who is not even the messenger that you are learning about. The church wants you to stay as sheep. They don't want you to be awakened. They want you to be sheep so you can continue going to church, so they can continue getting paid. So, you don't end your prayers in our mind. You say, so mote it be. I say this. Cleanse this food I'm about to eat into the nourishments of my body. Cleanse it from any toxins, anything will harm my body. And yes, I give a little vanity in there. And I said anything that would make me fat. So mote it be. That is literally what I say. I say cleanse this food again that I'm about to eat into the nourishment of my body. Or I'm about to drink, whatever. To the nourishment of my body. Cleanse it from any toxins, anything will harm my body. Or make me fat, so mote it be. Do not end it in our mind. End it in so mote it be. So mote it be. Okay, that's what you say. So mote it be. Instead of God of mine, end it in so mote it be. Okay, and I type it and I put it in the comment section. Okay, now let's get into the whole. Well, I just said it, Alicia. I type it in the comment section later and I pin it, okay? So instead of ending in God on mine, just say so mote it be. Okay? Instead of saying bless, say cleanse. Cleanse this food. Don't say bless, say cleanse. Okay? All right. Now, getting back to what I was saying. We are going to get into the concept of selling your soul. With that said, I hope everyone understands the concept of selling your soul. This means allowing another force to govern your essence, which is similar to possession. As I mentioned in the film, there is a distinction between selling your soul and making blood signing oath transactions. One demands you to give up something, the other one demands you to sign your name in blood. Okay? Which means, one, some people don't need to make you human. First of all, let me just say this right quick, because I don't think this has been transpired. Okay? I really don't think this has been transpired. We're going to keep it here. Okay. For example, just quick note. In order to sell your soul, you must first establish a ritual and make a bargain. Since you know the whole Yeshua thing, you know the whole identity, you know the truth about all of that, that should give you a concept of the soul selling, malarkey. Okay? Who you selling it to. Okay. So, and just a quick note. In order to sell your soul, you must first establish a ritual and make a bargain. Which means you gotta, like you're selling a car or you're selling whatever, you gotta offer some kind of bargain, okay? That you have to offer something. And here's the one thing that people don't seem to comprehend. And if the arrangement was accepted when the person you requested sacrificed unexpectedly dies. Oh, and guess what? You don't supposed to kill your own sacrifices. I know they have in the Bible that Abraham tried to and they stopped him because it's like you basically saying you don't kill your own sacrifices. Those are only animals. You can do that. Offer them, dead animals or whatever. But you don't kill humans. Okay? You don't, no, they want dead humans. Dead humans are useless. Okay? If anything, they have to do it, not you. or whatever procedure they go about doing it, but they don't want you to do it. Okay? So you would know when the person you requested to sacrifice unexpectedly died from some random unexpected illness or whatever. You don't kill your own sacrifice. So you don't do that. That's not how it works. Now with this strange abnormality, the person you sacrifice again will die. So if you see celebrities who folks may have died, or close relatives, a baby mama suddenly died, and they have 5 years, the contracts are pretty much about 5 years. Okay, 5 years. 5 years is a very significant number. Some people say 6, but I say 5. 5 years. Okay. And they will have 5 years of not a lot of drama. They will move up substantially, become icons, billionaires. Okay? Yeah. As I said in the video, you would know when that contract is up because that person's luck would drastically change. That is when this person is desperately trying to find another sacrifice. Okay? Now, people who become spiritually incited or chosen ones, like the star children, who have guardians guarding them and telling them, you need to leave this person because this person is trying to use you as a sacrifice. You must leave this person. They will guide this person and give this person some kind of strength to leave the person who's going to ultimately sacrifice them. They will get an urge of bravery, a surge of adrenaline, so to speak. And say, I can't take this anymore. So the little blinding of whatever they were on for years and years and years, where they felt they couldn't escape because it was under this person mind control, that something would just say, I'm out of here. Fuck this. And they will leave. They don't know why they suddenly they just feel like I'm done. So they will leave. Because those are chosen people who are literally, if I don't know what's in their DNA, they call them star children. Okay. Which means those are seeds that was put out by whoever created this earth. Okay. And more than likely planted, just like, Yeshua, into individuals. Okay? To be born by two individuals, both a male and female. But they were placed into that woman to be born. Okay? From these two people. They call these star children. These people will grow up knowing or thinking like, I'm here for something. I don't know what I'm here for, but I'm here for something. They normally are the black sheep of the family. They're always picked apart. They go through hell their entire lives, drama, because all the negativity and all the jinns and demons is trying to break their soul because they don't want them to achieve the greatness that they're destined to receive or achieve. So they just put them through hell to break them down. Like, they going through crap after crap. They don't even know why. Like, my life is just terrible luck. These are individuals who are chosen. Okay? Just like Yeshua / Jesus. He was chosen to be a messenger. Okay? And several others who the history tried to erase. They are chosen ones. Okay? Those are the individuals who are marked to either start a movement or to destroy someone who needs to be destroyed. They are the ones who went through, just like, Yeshua had to go through the crucifixion. Had to go through that pain because he just had to go through that. To ascend to a higher consciousness, so to speak. His job was done. He knew he was going to die. Other people have to go through all that tumultuous pain because their pain is going to bring insights and save the pain of thousands or more later. They survived and had their happy ending because their testimony is going to save many people and going to take down individuals who are very dark. who are very dark. So these are called star children. They're called star seeds or star children. There's different kinds too. And I did a video about it, and they know who they are. They know who they are, you know. So those people cannot be sacrificed. They can't. And of course, witches cannot be sacrificed. Practicing witches. These are people who practice being, witchcraft, but they're not really witches. Tarot readers who are kind of practicing witches. There are genuine tarot readers who are witches, where they can feel the essence of the cards. And there are people who are, like I said in the video, who are academically intelligent when it comes to the readings of the tarot cards. They only know what the tarot card means. There are people who use the tarot cards to enhance their vision. They don't really need the tarot cards, but they use it to enhance their vision. Okay? Those are real witches. Okay? So they are the ones who cannot be sacrificed. You can become a highly spiritual person too. You just got to meditate more, intermittently fast, study your history, and all of those things, which means you are protected by your spiritual soul, kind of like a shield, and you will not be sacrificed, okay? You know when someone's trying to sacrifice you. Yeah. So remember, when we see these celebrities suddenly come up after losing a relative, you know why they're coming up. Which means their talent is no longer making money anymore. They need a human sacrifice. And this human sacrifice needs to go into identity, well, a jinn/demon, to enhance their capabilities. Some celebrities don't need human sacrifices. They can just, increase the limitations and extend their contracts with whoever they're contracting with, the devil, so to speak. Okay? And all they need is their talents. A lot of them don't need to make human sacrifices. And I explained all of this in the videos. I explained it in great detail. So I hope you guys learned from that. Now, do you have any questions before I let you go in the comment section? Oh, okay. Okay, Alicia, I'm just looking at the comments. You said what prayer you're supposed to say before you go to bed? Okay. My prayer, see, the things, I'm trying to learn how to manifest things. They say you're supposed to manifest things. You're supposed to manifest into existence. You remember I told you the thing you feed the most is the thing you manifest. Like if you always feeding fear or whatever, or your house is shambles, your house going to continue being shambles because you're always complaining about it. You have to always manifest what you desire. This is why rich people stay rich, because they're obsessed with money, so they attract money. Okay? So you have to be obsessed with what you want, even to the point of you sounding delusioned. So if you, before you go to bed, say into present or in future sense. Okay? Okay? I slept well. Well, you can say I had, I guess, yeah. I slept well and great, peacefully, had wonderful dreams, beautiful dreams, peaceful dreams. I woke up happy, light, energetic, and healthy. So you want to, and of course you can put your family in there and say, my family, I say my close family and friends, because I'm not close to all my family. I say my close family and friends are protected. They're safe. They're happy. And I say that. And I say, so mote it be. Or you can say, good night. So you want to say prayers as if it already happened. Instead of saying my house is junky, my house is big, it's beautiful. I have an ocean view. Money. $1 million is in my bank account. I have $1 million. I'm rich. I'm happy. I slept well. I slept well tonight. I slept beautiful tonight. No interruptions. My kids are safe. My husband is safe. My family and friends are safe. So mote it be. And you can say the same prayer when you wake up too. When you don't have to say slept. You say, my family and friends are safe. My daughter is safe. Yada, yada, yada are safe. You know, they are protected. So mote it be. So just say everything in present tense. You know, today is a great day. Today is a beautiful day. My daughters, my kids are safe. My husband is safe. My close family and friends are safe. I am safe. My house and belongings are safe. I am lucky. I am happy. So mote it be. And then at night, I slept well. I slept peacefully. No interruptions. My kids are safe as we sleep throughout the night. Peacefully. Happy. Beautiful day. Beautiful night. We wake up refreshed, happy, energetic, safe. So mote it be. So just say things in present tense and it shall be manifested. Okay? Positive thinking is definitely the key. And I know it's hard to think positive when reality sucks. But sometimes living in a fantasy can pretty much prevent you from losing your sanity. Trust me. I'm there already. Like I say, I don't know how I'm calm, but I'm calm. And again, do I encourage sacrificing? No. Do I believe majority of celebrities sacrifice? Heck yeah. Do I believe that majority of them committed human sacrifices? Yeah. Yeah, they have. But my mother suddenly died. My sister is suddenly getting sick. My daughter is suddenly ill with cancer. Or whoever. Or my baby mama died of pneumonia. Yeah. It's always some unexpected health anomaly. You know, person be completely healthy and all of a sudden they're dead. More than likely they were probably sacrificed. Okay? More than likely. But anyway, yes, pretty much. Yeah, when they say, bless my mother, bless my mother, that's what you're saying technically. Bless my family, bless my family. You're literally telling them to be less who they are. Be less a mother, be less my family, be less my friends, you know, be less this. So you're literally I can't even speak. Diminishing your family and friends every night. You notice that every time you say that, there's a little light, a little urge of, I don't know, surge. They get drained from your parents every time you say those prayers. And something bad always happens. You know, something always happens bad. You know, because you're saying, be less my family, be less my, and when someone sneezes, be less, please. Instead of saying bless, just say, don't say anything. They just sneeze. It's a bodily function. You don't have to bless them. When you're telling them to be less them, just don't say anything. Just don't. Gosh, you don't have to say anything. This is a bodily function. Just ignore it. But like, you need some tissue. Are you okay? Say that. Do you need some tissue? Are you okay? That's pretty much what you can say. And I'm going to end it here. It's been wonderful. Thanks for staying throughout the duration of this video. My regulars, share. Love you all. Bye. And don't worry, I'm going to leave the prayer below. And I'm going to actually create a little picture, an icon picture, put on my community chat. And until next time, peace.